And they're off. So to start off the game, just skip a little cutscene, nothing too major. So the first kingdom to start off with is Cap Kingdom. It is the shortest kingdom in the game, minus solo boss fights. We're going to see our runners probably finish this up around the mid 230s. Let's see. Both runners taking the slightly shorter but safer route around that lantern. For those who don't know, rolling in this game is the fastest form of movement, so you can expect to see our runners rolling for most of the game. It looks like they hit the switch roughly at the same time. Rubbertoe getting that pre-roll in, he won't have to fall and roll. So I might save him a little bit of inputs, but it looks like Funga gets in there just before he does. Now for our first capture, this is a frog capture. Oh! Funga having some hard life choices. So this frog's fastest movement is just hopping on the ground. And then our runners do two super high jumps, and they just ditch the frog. Both runners opt in for going right and up the hill. You can go left, but the platforming is a lot tighter, and you have more potential to mess up. So for this guy, I like to call him Magical Hats. Basically knocks off his hats, and that's pretty much the boss fight. He does have a mid-phase where he goes underneath a cap. That's completely scripted, nothing random about that. And you can actually hit the hats before he starts moving. So with that, Cap Kingdom is well and done. Quick and painless. 2.5 minutes, a little over 2.5. And the runners are going to go on to the second part, which is Cascade Kingdom. This is the first major kingdom of the game where they introduce the moons in the Odyssey. So, and the major skip here will involve capturing a T-Rex and bouncing him on a trampoline. Very similar movement from both of our runners. Very nice. Very clean. Oh, Funga doing a little backflip. Mario styling a little too hard right there. So both of the runners still looks like within about a second of each other. Even milliseconds. That looks pretty frame perfect to me. Alright, so here the runners want to get up to the T-Rex as fast as possible. So a quick triple. Looks like they both get it. And they are literally copying each other, folks. This is, they're perfectly synced up right now. Alright, looks like Funga just got up there just a little quicker than Rubbertoe. So for this boss fight, you want to knock off the Golden Chomp's hat and take control of him and send him flying back into the Mama Brutal. Both runners ignoring the coins here, so generally what Sphinxless runners like to do, they like to grab these coins and then go into the Sphinx room. It looks like Rubbertoe opting to collect some, so he may avoid the Sphinx room, because there is a chest in the Sand Kingdom that does give you 50 coins. So we'll see the coin management play a role within the next kingdom, and that'll decide our runners' decisions. So Funga finishing off the big Mama Brutal, just a few seconds faster than Rubbertoe. But again, these first few kingdoms, will most likely be almost identical in terms of consistency for these runners. So now they want to get one more moon. This moon, the quickest moon for these guys is they're going to do a triple jump up on this ledge and just roll back to the Odyssey. And they're pretty much done here. So Fungi loading up and Rubbertoe at this point. Unfortunately, there haven't been any bonks yet, so fortunate for them, unfortunate for me. So chat, I like to play a little game as how many bonks are there going to be in this run? I'm going to go with a firm 8 bonks for both of these runners. Alright, and both of our runners quickly selecting Sand Kingdom and getting a nice life lesson from dear old Cappy. These life lessons are very important because we can't read them and because he likes to take up our time. So Fungi making his way on the sand. Doesn't have time for Cappy. Alright, so we have possible deviations en route. We could see our runners go for early bird or late bird, depending on what route they normally take. It looks like Fungi is going to go for the fountain. Little more advanced routing, but he makes it look easy, while Rubbertoe takes the umbrella up and grabs the same moon. Fungi going in the pipe early. He's not going to get early bird, and Rubbertoe is going to get early bird. So very small deviation, and Rubbertoe will go in the pipe. This more than likely means Fungi may opt in for a late bird, and it looks like he's going to be doing just that. Next we have a nice little moon hidden in this desert mound. So the only way to find this moon is to use the vibration controls in the Switch controller or Joy-Cons. So he makes his way up to this ice pillar. Ooh, takes a little fall on the ice pillar. That'll cost him. Quickly corrects it, and Rubbertoe is right back behind him. Rubbertoe taking his time, doesn't want to fall. So these runners are both very close right now. Rubbertoe may have a slight lead, just because of routing. So time for the second ice pillar. Oh, he has a little bit of trouble with it. Okay. So now you can keep this bullet bill alive early if you... Okay, it looks like Fungi is going to keep his alive. If you are quick enough in releasing this moon, you can keep the bill alive. It looks like Rubbertoe is just going to let the bullet bill take a hard one to the face. And he'll come back for it. Oh, Rubbertoe taking a fall here. So it looks like he is opting for a backup route. Meanwhile, Fungi is getting the moon on the pillar. So more than likely, Fungi will be going for luggage, then Sphinx. You can see Rubbertoe having to do quite the bit of platforming to get back up to that moon. He's trying to get the fastest way possible, but it looks like he's taking the safe way up. Meanwhile, Fungi is going to talk to the Sphinx and get this moon really quick. Since these runners probably can't read Japanese, all you have to do is memorize the order at which the answer is in, which is the first one, so you don't have to worry about selecting anything. Rubbertoe finally getting that pillar moon. Took a huge detour. So now Fungi has a very nice coin count. He does not have to worry about farming for coins. He may decide to go to Snow Kingdom early later in the game, but we'll see when he gets there. And it looks like Rubbertoe is skipping Sphinx Room, which is not uncommon because he took the early bird route. So we'll see a little bit of more coin management coming out of Rubbertoe throughout the entire game. Funga has a very solid coin count, so he's not going to worry about coins whatsoever. He's going to grab those 50. That should push him close to 200, which is what he will need for this entire run. Rubbertoe getting that first moon on the way to Jaxie, and it looks like he will get Jaxie as well. And meanwhile, Fungi is just finishing up Desert. I believe he has... oh, got the bird moon a little high there. And then he's going to finish off with this little dune here, and he's going to warp back to the Odyssey. And he is all finished up with Sand Kingdom. So he might have a good 45 seconds to a minute on Rubbertoe at this point, just because of, I would say, a major error in rerouting and attempting to get that bullet bill again. So Rubbertoe will have to do notes because he neglected to get the Sphinx. Not a huge time loss at all. It's quicker to do the notes than it is to do Sphinx Room. But in the end, the route timings come out a little faster for Rubbertoe if he hadn't have messed up. Meanwhile, Fungi makes his way onto the Lake Kingdom. So, the Lake Kingdom, you need 10 moons. They're all very close together, so this may only take around 3 minutes for our runners. You get all of these moons in very quick succession. So still no bonks so far from our runners. I'm a little surprised and disappointed at the same time. Looks like Funga opting in for a triple jump. Very safe strat, gives you a lot of leeway. He's going to unzip the wall and roll down to get that moon at the very end. For the remainder of this, he will be a cheap, maybe for a minute, while he collects a few moons. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe just starting off his Lake Kingdom. But again, this is going to be a very quick kingdom. We're not going to waste too much time here. So getting that moon hidden in the pillar. Looks like Rubbertoe opting in to pick up a few extra coins there. And he's going to be right behind Funga. Now Funga's going to jump out of the water with the Cheep and wall jump to access this area a little bit earlier than what most casual players would do. So now he's fighting this tall, lanky, brutal. The basic strat is you dive for his head the first time, and then you just kind of backflip when the visual cues are correct. So if you're trying to go as fast as possible, it can go very poorly, but it looks like he takes care of it, no problem. The main thing to note, if you do miss the jump, he will go inside of his hat and jump around for about 10 to 15 seconds. So slightly unforgiving if you mess it up, but it looks like both of our runners are going to finish it up, no problem. So it looks like Funga is going to bounce out of the Lake Kingdom with maybe a 15:03. Very solid time indeed. 1502. Very good. And you can see Rubbertoe is just now leaving. He's gonna load up the Odyssey, and we're gonna go on to the next one, which I mean, in my opinion, has the best soundtrack. Very nice, mellow, upbeat soundtrack here in the Wooded Kingdom. So to start off with this kingdom, these runners are going to have to hit a bunny. We like to call him Mips. Mips the bunny. He's going to be holding a moon hostage. Now let's see how Fungi handles it. Alright, does an easy long jump into him. No problem whatsoever. And he says, bye to Mips. Gets this rock. You break rocks with rocks, guys. Who'd have thought? And now he's going to go spend half of his hard-earned money on this little flower shop bot. For those who haven't played this, the shopkeeper literally says, spend money. So it looks like Rubbertoe is about 30 seconds behind at this point. So Fungi almost bonking there, getting his first nut in the wall. It is very easy to bonk here. There's very tight platforming. You have a lot of different choices for your routing. So Fungi taking control of this little, I don't know, he's like a little chestnut. You can call him whatever you like. It looks like he is going to go for the early pipe, so he has no intentions of warping to the pipe later. So you can do this pipe damageless, and it's about 5 to 7 seconds faster than your other options. However, it is very difficult to do. Alright, it looks like Fungi might be damage boosting. Yes, Fungi is damage boosting. So that is actually a couple seconds slower. Still faster than waiting for the water to rise. But you do have to wait for that HP to refill. And meanwhile, Rubbertoe making his way through the same pipe. Very nice platforming. Oh! Went for the risky dive there. I'm not comfortable enough to dive over that with the Lost Woods being right there. Let's see what Rubbertoe opts in for. Looks like he's going for a safer, slower pipe. Doesn't really want to take any damage. Alright, Fungi getting his piranha plant. Rubbertoe still following in his footsteps with the same kind of platforming. There's not really going to be any deviation here early game. Oh, and Rubbertoe missing that dive. Definitely could have been a lot worse for him. Because he could fall into the dark woods. You definitely would not want to do that. You would lose minutes on your run for that mistake. So, interesting to see. Fungi might be P-switchless, but he could also go for the safer strat and go for the... He's just going to go for the P-switch. So, not going to see any fancy strats out of the left side. Maybe we'll see it from Rubbertoe. So Fungi just taking a standard route up to get this nut on this wooden or steel platform. And he's going to make his way down and start the tower climb. We'll see if Rubbertoe opts in for the P-switchless, or if he just wants to go ahead and push the button. And it looks like he's just going to push the button as well. Nothing too fancy here tonight. Rubbertoe doing some fantastic platforming to get up there. Meanwhile, Funga finishes up with his ascent, no problem. And he's going to start his climb. So, Funga starting Speward. The main thing you want to do for this fight is just jump on his cap before he spews out purple goo everywhere. Doing a little backflip when he comes out of his hat. And that's pretty much your fight. One simple backflip and you're done. So, or two simple backflips, easy peasy. Rubbertoe about to start his fight. Alex with a little faster strat. So might save him a couple seconds. And he's going to be picking up some coins for coin management. Again, shouldn't see any issues with this boss fight. You can jump too early and take damage, but it looks like that's not going to be the case here tonight. Funga loading up while Rubbertoe grabs his triple blue croissants. And this still remains a bonkless run. So I think we've been about to 3 or 4 kingdoms here with no bonks. So Funga is going to go on to, supposed to be going to New Metro. We are going to be interrupted by our lovely friend Bowser. So Nintendo debating us here. I think we're going to the big city. We're actually going to Cloud Kingdom, which is where we'll fight Bowser in the Cloud Arena. Funga opting to get that third hat instead of the first one. And he's going to start his Bowser fight. And Rubbertoe is going to do the exact same thing when he gets to load up Cloud Kingdom. So for Bowser, you basically want to use his hat. He liked to include boxing gloves within his helmet or hat, and that is going to be his undoing because we're just going to steal it and just give him the hands. Bowser's going to catch some vicious hands from his own hat. So again, Mario is still showing he can't beat Bowser in fisticuffs, but he can use his own tricks against him. So with that, Cloud Kingdom's done. Pretty standard fight. And now we're going to go on to the Lost Kingdom, home of the vicious meme tree. So for those who do not know, we do a major skip here, which involves skipping the bird that steals Mario's hat, which would lose us about a minute of time, but we do a triple jump off this tree against a huge puddle of swamp. And oh, there's the bonk. That'll cost him. I was waiting. Ever so patiently waiting. But we do bypass the Cappy stolen cutscene, and we go up to the left with a triple jump out of a tree. Funga almost taking a fall there. So we get these 2 moons up on the side of the, I guess, huge mountain, I would guess, of this kingdom. Then we jump down and get these 2 on the spinning platforms. And then there's going to be a moon. It looks like Funga is going to scare the bird away and then get in this tree. And then he's going to finish the rest of the zone. Taking a little safer route there. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe is keeping solid pace. Both of these runners doing very good right now. Funga opting in to take damage on that little area to burst the moon from the blocks. It is possible to do that section damageless. You kind of have to bait out the bug a little further and give yourself a better angle, but he goes for the quick damage strat. And now he's going to take a long leap of faith. It looks like he's not going to be able to do damageless, or deathless, I'm sorry. So taking the death, and you are pretty much spawned right back at the Odyssey. We'll see what Rubbertoe opts to do. Rubbertoe opts to do the cave as well. You can use the exploding bug to blow up the cage to get the moon and drop down. Slightly faster, but a little more risky. Rubbertoe getting the same moon, no problems. And it looks like he did get deathless. He did the little safer way. So it'll probably end up being about the same speed. So now our runners are going to go off to Dark Metro City. This city is notorious for potential huge time losses, depending on what you want to do. There's a lot of very high platforming where you can easily fall off and lose 30 seconds to a minute of your time easily. Funga double triple jumping to maintain his speed there. That's very good. So first off, you want to get on this little trampoline and then make your way up this skyscraper. Now you want to long jump to this construction area. Looks like he bonks there. That'll cost him. And then we get this moon on the side of the building. And we just keep making our way up. And skipping the normal intended route for this, you're supposed to go through the city streets, but we long jump across the entire street section to make our way out of there. So Rubbertoe making his climb up relatively easily. Does not bonk there. And he gets up there no problem. So it looks like Funga opting in for the quicker climb. Waits for that elevator cycle. Does a ground pound. He's going to make his way up by jumping back and forth across this pole. So jumping back and forth on the back wall is faster than using the left wall, just because of how they're spaced. But it is very easy to fall down here and lose a lot of time. Rubbertoe opting in for a different backflip strat. Pretty much the same time, just different ways to get to the same place. It's whatever these runners are more comfortable with. And Funga is going to start the notorious Mecha Wiggler, as I like to call him. So your main objective is to use this tank and blow up the lit up sections on this boss. Can be very unforgiving. So these runners are going to go for a 2-cycle. If they do not get the 2-cycle, they will have to wait for a 3rd cycle, and that will cost them roughly 18 to 25 seconds, depending on how fast he gets hit. So we'll see how this second cycle goes. Hopefully it goes well. It is not fun to see huge time losses on this area of the game. Looks like he's having a little trouble with the last 4. And it looks like he's going to get the dreaded 3rd cycle. So the boss stopped really high up on the wall, which makes it very difficult to hit. It's very unfortunate for Funga. This gives Rubbertoe a chance to pull ahead. Potentially even tie it up. And Funga finishes off with the 3rd cycle. Not optimal, but still very good. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe getting his 2-cycle, that's going to save him a lot of time. And he is only seconds behind Rubbertoe's Wiggler fight, so he is very much back in this race. So there you have it, folks. Dark Metro being notorious for eating away a chunk of your PB time, but not in Rubbertoe's case. So now we have Light Metro. All the rain's gone. You defeated a giant Metro worm that was causing a thunderstorm, and the sky's cleared. So now we're going to see our runners start off with Light Metro now. Fungi setting up a homing cap throw after he gets this moon. It saves him time from walking back and capturing the little light post. They can immediately go to the light post without having to walk back, and it saves a few seconds. It looks like Fungi doing a slow backwards RC card does not want to mess that up. Rubbertoe opting in for no backwards strats, but nonetheless very fast RC car. And now we're going to make our way to the Feels Bad bench. There's a lonely guy here in Metro City. You know, city life is rough, so Mario makes a new friend. And his new buddy gives him a moon that, you know, he just had stashed away. Next we're gonna smack these crates and get this moon hidden away. Now we're gonna see our runners warp to the top of the skyscraper. So warping up this way is quicker than advancing to any other moon. We're just gonna, you know, someone decided to take out their trash about 100 feet up in the air. Oh, and Funga taking a fall and a bonk, but he doesn't die. That's gonna cost him. So as long as Rubbertoe makes his jump, he's good. Now Rubbertoe is in the lead. That is a very costly bonk on Funga's end. So he's gonna have to redo that jump and get back over there. That's the risk you take when you go a little too low on these jumps. So with that, Rubber is in the lead by about 20 seconds, I would say. 10 to 20 seconds. Rubbertoe just climbing up as fast as he can. Meanwhile, Fungi is right behind him. So this has been back and forth. Just on Metro. Rubbertoe just playing it out very safe, very solid. Unfortunately, Fungi losing a lot of time in the Metro City. And now we're going to go to Busy Street. So the purpose of the Busy Street, activate the switch and then just roll through all of these people. Because Mario does not have time to try to walk around anyone. Oh, and he bonks, that'll cost him. That may have been a quicker bonk than usual. So these runners still aren't too far apart. Both of them are going to get both of these moons in the Busy Street. And then they're going to go talk to the mayor of Metro City, which is Paulina, for those who don't know. So Paulina wants to organize a festival to celebrate just Metro festivities. And then, so she sends you on a mission to gather 4 people for this band. We got to go fast here, folks. So we're only going to get 2 of these people. So Rubbertoe getting the first one. If you do have them, everyone get your OTEPs ready because Rubbertoe is about to give us the OTEP moment. Yow. And Yow is right. So Rubbertoe is smashing this debris from the Wiggler. If 3 wasn't enough, he's got to give us a 4th. And Rubbertoe is on to OTEP. So get your yays ready in the chat. And OTEP says OTEP. And with that, they are out of Metro City. So I'm not certain on the coin count on Rubbertoe's end, but I'm pretty sure Fungi is going to go immediately to Snow Kingdom because he does not have to worry about his coin count because he did Sphinx. So for Snow Kingdom, you do need 100 coins to buy a moon. That is unfortunately the fastest moon to get is from the shopkeep. So Rubbertoe electing to go to Seaside because he needs coins. Meanwhile, Fungi opts in for Snow Kingdom because he has the coins. So we're not going to see who's officially ahead until they both enter Luncheon. So let's see Rubbertoe's Seaside. I'll try to keep up with both sides as best as I can. Rubbertoe taking his time with this first moon. You can bonk if you are too low, so you want to make sure you get enough height. Meanwhile, Fungi is rolling down the mountain, and he's going to go talk to Captain Toad, who's tucked away in the side of the wall. He saw Rubbertoe go inside of a pipe, get this moon hidden in the sand. Little trouble on the first attempt. Oh, and he bonks into the wall next to the pipe. That'll cost him. Meanwhile, Fungi making his way down. Rubbertoe getting this moon hidden in the wall. You're supposed to use a little octopus that'll kind of jet propel you up there, but the walls are close enough where we don't need him. Fungi having a little trouble bouncing back and forth between these boxes, but he gets it. So Rubbertoe with the notes. For those who don't know, if you control a fire flower in this game, it is very difficult to control your movement in a linear path, and that can be the most stressful part of Seaside, is messing up the fire flower. So Fungi buys the moon. That's going to cost him about 100 coins, so he's broke. He's going to make his way on top of the bridge. Now for Rubbertoe, he's going to take control of the Cheep Cheep here. He's going to use the Cheep Cheep to get the rest of the moons here. That is very true. It's easy to control the fire flower if you don't hold up on the stick. But I think some runners like to have that little, like to nudge back and forth a little bit. So Fungi getting the moon on the bridge, rolling down, getting this moon hidden in the snow, and now he's going to start the swamp room. This room has potential to lose a lot of time if you do die. It looks like he's going to opt in for the backflip on the box, which is the quickest way to take. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe saying hi to that shiny Lapras and then peacing out. And demolishing some seaweed to get the next moon. Fungi taking control of one of these blowy guys. You want to get all the Cheep Cheeps off the... Oh, Fungi bonking. That'll cost him, folks. So what you want to do there is you want to blow them all off the platform, and then it spawns the moon. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe finishing up Seaside. So Seaside is roughly, I would say, a minute and a half faster than Snow Kingdom. Oh, looks like... Oh, Fungi bonking into that little archway next to the door. That'll cost him. So Mario testing the strength of his skull. Not as strong as he would like it to be. So Fungi taking control of the Goombas. You need 4 Goombas for that switch by the lovely number 4. Thanks, Nintendo. And he's going to long jump across this big gap to get this moon. Normally a casual player would make the iceberg drop, but we don't have time for that, so we just do a long jump. So rubbertoe about to basically duplicate everything that Fungi has just done. So nothing new on rubbertoe's screen. Fungi will be getting the last moon here. That does a quick little roll, releases some wind, makes his way across another deep potential death zone, and he's gonna get this moon on the side. You could fight the boss, however, that is a lot slower. And then Fungi is gonna leave and then start up his oceanside journey. Now Rubbertoe is going to spend all of his hard-earned coins that he got from Seaside at this shop. So now both of our runners are broke again. And that will be the last moon we buy in this run, thankfully. So coin management is no longer an issue for these guys. And that'll cost them, guys. That moon cost roughly 100 coins. So Fungi loading into the ocean side. Rubbertoe going for the long jump, and he does it rather quickly. Very bold on Rubbertoe's end. It is not easy to set up that instant jump. Alternatively, you can opt in for a roll, and if you can keep max speed, it's the same time. Oh, Fungi testing the strength of Mario's skull against the above that pipe. That'll cost him. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe is making his way out of the swamp room. Not a pretty room at all. These little ice fellows, they need to get their act together and kind of do some deep cleaning underground. Should be water, not, you know, a pit of poisonous swamp goo. Fungi will get his fire flower. Let's see how the notes treat him. It looks like he's just going straight. No big issues there. Rubbertoe narrowly avoiding that bomb. So bonking going into a pipe actually doesn't lose him any time. Oh, and he kills the Goomba. That'll cost him. He's gonna have to make his way all the way back. Oh, it looks like Rubbertoe is just gonna skip out on the Goombas. You can actually respawn the Goomba if you walk back to the door. So I'm not sure if he was aware of that backup. So we'll see what extra moon he decides to go for here. Fungi doing a very standard oceanside route. It looks like Rubbertoe is going to opt in to do the double moon in this room. This is roughly 30 to 40 seconds slower. It looks like he is not going to go for the mini moons. Smart choice on his part, avoids some unneeded cutscenes. So he's going to get this moon hidden up on the ledge, and then he's going to opt in to leave this room and go back to the other final moon. And that's exactly what he's going to do. It looks like he is going to take the pipe out. So, very costly error on his part. Unfortunately, that's going to put Fungi back in the lead. So it looks like Fungi loaded up at 44.52, and Rubbertoe will probably be about 20 to 30 seconds behind. It looks like he is 26 seconds behind Funga at this point, so rubbertoe has lost the lead. The average time for this run, I would say it could be anywhere between 110 and 120, depending on skill level and consistency with the game. And your upper tier times are going to be below 110, up to a minimum of 105.35. However, that is top tier movement and fully optimized. So Funga getting that moon on the salt on the wall, it can be a very tight jump. If you try to cap jump too quickly, you will bonk and you will lose a lot of time. Okay. And Funga is going to start his brutal fight. We've seen this guy before, so nothing new here. Same strats, same boss fight, just copy and paste it in a different world. Funga finishes it off, and rubbertoe is just about to start. So no huge troubles from launching this early on, but it does become much more difficult as you dive deeper into this level. I believe the fastest PB pace in this tourney is by Valu with, I believe, a very low 107, maybe high 106. I'm not completely sure on his PB currently. Ooh, Funga burning his bottom on the Pepto-Bismol, folks. That'll cost him about 2 seconds on health refill time. So making his way up on the side of that little candy mountain, getting this moon tucked away. And he's gonna, looks like he's opting in for the long jumps into the triple to get this moon hidden in the boxes. Meanwhile, rubbertoe making it out of that room, no trouble whatsoever. And now we're gonna see Funga get this golden turnip. For those who didn't know, cooking with gold is the and Funga misses twice. That'll cost him. That can be tricky. Mario is not the best at basketball, as we can clearly see. Next, we're going to get this moon on the pillar and then long jump to the salt pile. A few other people like to give it a different name, but we won't go there right now. I'll let chat use their imaginations. Looks like rubbertoe not having any trouble with that. So Funga is going to be skipping forks. I don't blame him. I'm not a huge fan of that room either. So we will be seeing him do potaboos. Oh, and he bonks on the side of that candy mountain. That'll cost him, folks. Meanwhile, rubbertoe just following in his footsteps. Not really falling behind at all. And rubbertoe is not doing forks either, so we would be seeing a potaboo room for both of these runners. Rubbertoe taking a little different way up, a little more direct than Funga. Rubbertoe having a little bit of trouble with that wall. Sometimes Mario does not like to grab the wall instantly. So doing forks is preference. Forks is slightly faster, but more difficult if you don't have the motion controls down for it. With motion controls, forks is quicker than the potaboos. Funga using a Potoboo to ignite the torch on the island. Gets the moon. He's going to head over to the Potoboo room. And this room is cycle-based. So we'll see how the cycles treat our runners. It looks like he's not opting for the early Potoboo attempt. It is a very tight timer. Grabs the first moon, no problem. Rubbertoe is about to capture this Potoboo and light the torch. And it looks like Funga is opting in for the safe strat. So the safe strat is ignoring that completely, damage boosting across the Pepto-Bismol, and then getting the moon. Next, we're gonna get this moon hidden away on the side of the mountain. Oh, Pepto-Bismol, or Pepto-Bismol taking a death. Rubbertoe taking a death to that Potoboo jump. If you do not have the Potoboo fully re-emerged from the Pepto, he will, oh, taking another death, jumping a little too early. He needs to jump a little later. He's jumping a little too early for that. Meanwhile, Funga getting the triple croissants from cooking the steak, and he is piecing out. Rubbertoe taking the safer way, gave up on the fast strats. So unfortunately, that will cost Rubbertoe about, I want to say 20 seconds. Again, he is opting in for the safe strat. Meanwhile, Funga is loading up and piecing out Luncheon Kingdom. So he does have a substantial lead on Rubbertoe at this point. Rubbertoe let him slip away, unfortunately. So next we have this little ride to the Lost Kingdom. Or Ruined, I'm sorry. Ruined Kingdom. Not much to this except for one little boss fight. So the game wants to make you think you're going to Bowser's Kingdom, but you are interrupted by Bowser and what appears to be a tamed dragon. So you saw it here firsthand. Bowser can tame dragons, but he cannot beat Mario. This isn't the first Mario game with a dragon in it. The Paper Mario series does have dragons. However, this is the first lightning dragon and the first 3D dragon, I believe. So people like to call this Skyrim, Dark Souls, tons of different names for this guy. Rubbertoe cooking the steak and leaving luncheon as well. I'm more a fan of the Paper Mario dragons, Hooktail. He's a good guy. So basically, what you want to do for this boss fight: avoid his lightning, and then jump on his head, and release the spikes and ground pound him right on the skull. And apparently Mario's ground pound is strong enough to deal a ton of damage to the dragon. Funga opting in for no damage strats. Damage boosting is slightly faster because you can set yourself up for all the cap throws. So Funga getting up all 3 times, no damage, very nice, very clean, and that's pretty much it. You fight a dragon. Oh, having a little trouble with that. Oh, takes damage. That'll cost him. Had a little trouble with the ground pound at the end, but nothing too major. Rubbertoe opting to not take damage either. So it looks like Rubbertoe may be 2 cycles behind Funga at this point. Rubbertoe midway of his fight. Meanwhile, Fungi will be progressing on to Bowser's Kingdom. Yes, indeed. Dragon getting beat by a plumber. That will definitely cost him. So Fungi leaving the ruined kingdom of the dragons. And everyone, don't forget to follow our runners, Fungi and Rubbertoe. They made this stream possible by being here tonight, and they're doing their best to give you guys a fantastic run. And both of them are doing a phenomenal job. Alright, so Fungi has just started up Bowser's Kingdom. So the goal here is to get 8 moons and then go on to the next area. So what we want to do here, Fungi captures a Pokio, ditches the bird, goes on to the next section. Not using the newer strat developed. I believe it was less than a week ago. And he's going to climb up and beat this stamp guy. Just a simple backflip and a ground pound. That's all it takes. So it looks like there's a minute 19 between them. That is easily made up by a very poor mech fight. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe is finishing up at Lost. And he's going to make his way to Bowser's Kingdom as well. So with this second section, you want to get moon shards, and then the community's favorite glory hole of the game. So we'll be getting 2 moons in this next part. Looks like he is going to opt in for this moon shard on the right first. Takes a damage from the spiny, that'll cost him. Having a little trouble getting up there. Grabs his second one. Looks like he is going to do a more standard route. So he's going to get this third one, go up top, up over the top, grab that moon. Looks like he gets that one on the far end. Doesn't pick up that moon shard quite yet. Puts the nose in the glory hole and gets a moon. It's that easy, guys. Rubbertoe making quick work of the first section. He did take damage though, so he will have to wait for that health refill. Meanwhile, Fungi getting that shard and finishing up the second phase of Bowser's Kingdom. So Fungi does have a choice here. He can jump over the endless abyss, save 2 seconds, and get up on this wall, or he can go straight and not risk dying. And it looks like he's not going to risk the death. He may know his competitor is right behind him. Does not want to take any unnecessary deaths here. And he's going to make his way on to the next one. Rubbertoe avoiding the damage, grabbing the moons in a little different order. Looks like he's going to ignore the bird and take the long way around. That method is a little slower, but again, a lot safer. Meanwhile, Fungi starting his first brutal fight. Return to sender, no problem. Oh! Rubbertoe getting stuck in the wall a little preemptively there. Fungi is doing a very good job of returning these bombs back immediately. No issues there. Makes it look very easy. And then he will start on to the next fight. The new and improved Topper. So in this time around, Topper has more hats and more problems for you. Looks like he's going to go for the ground pound strat, so he hits 2 hats at once. Doesn't want to risk missing it. And it looks like he's going to do the same exact thing for the second phase. Very nice, very clean. Very clean topper fight for Funga. And Rubbertoe getting that moon as well. No issues. And he's going to be doing the same 2 boss fights. Rubbertoe doing well in that first phase. See if he can get the next 2. Taking his time with that second one. I don't blame him. And Funga starting his final ascent up the wall of Bowser's Kingdom. Doing some quick platforming. A little slower than the... Rubbertoe having a little bit of problem with this final ball. Hopefully he can get it before the 4th one comes. And it looks like he's lined up perfectly. And Fungi using the Pokio to get up this wall as quickly as possible. Fortunately, it can't go through steel. Be a little too overpowered. And Rubbertoe is going to start his second fight. So Funga starting his brutal fight. Depending on how this goes, this could give Rubbertoe a chance to catch up. Oh, having trouble getting on that first leg. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe taking a little bit of damage, but getting that hat instantly. Did not even need to ground pound there. That is frame perfect hat jump, guys. Not easy to do at all. Alright, Fungi with the first brutal down. Doesn't mess up his twirl. And it looks like he is back on it, no problem. See if he can get up here a second time. He makes it back on top. He should be A-okay. And easy. Bonks here do not cost him whatsoever because he has to wait for Rainbow Leg. So he's free to bonk as many times as he wants. And he gets the free spin. Very nice. Very difficult if you don't know the positioning and timing. And he's going to finish off the top. So, very good brutal fight. Very good brutal fight on Funga's end. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe just making his way up. Hopefully, he can replicate the brutal fight. A very good mech. I wouldn't call it perfect mech because he did have a little bit of trouble getting up on the leg the first time, so it could have been a little faster for him. But nonetheless, still very solid mech fight. So this is a potential PB pace for Funga, I believe. And Rubbertoe just about to start his fight. Let's see how it goes for him. So taking that intentional balk there. Ooh, just jumping up. Alright. I haven't seen anyone do a standard jump off. That's a little faster than what most people do. It looks like he will not be setting up for the very quick brutal mech though. For the very quick brutal mech, you do want to leave the one on the side open. Unfortunately, it makes it the easiest one to hit. And it looks like he will be going for it. Nope, just kidding. He's going to wait till after the spin. Still very quickly, it's only a few seconds time difference. And now Funga is going to make his way to the moon. And it looks like Rubbertoe has a very clean mech as well. Little trouble with this last one, but nothing too major. Alright, so now we have moon physics. Now, with Nintendo putting moon physics in and making a level around it, things were bound to be broken. And wouldn't you guess it, some of our routers and other game breakers have found a way to skip the entire moon segment cave, which lasts about 4 minutes. So we take 4 minutes and turn it into about 20 seconds. So Fungi getting his setup on the Sphinx, taking his time, doesn't want to mess the alignment up. Does his cap jump. If you jump on certain... Oh, it looks like he missed it. You can jump on certain parts of this back wall above the Sphinx, and then onto the wall to Mario's left currently. And you can actually wall jump off of that one. It actually tricks the game to thinking the walls were parallel to one another, and it allows you to skip the entire inner cave segment. So we got a second try. It's only about 10 to 15 seconds gone. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe is finishing up in Bowser's Kingdom, and he's going to make his way to the moon as well. Now, Mario, being the wedding crasher that he is, definitely does not want to see Peach marry his arch rival. So he's going to start the final Bowser fight. This fight's basically the same. There's a little more fire and a little bit of more hats. And Bowser learned how to guard, but not all the time. So we'll see if Rubbertoe can get this moon skip first try. So the hitboxes for this fire Bowser is breathing is actually only on the floor. So you can jump through the flames and not take a hit. Looks like Rubbertoe opting in to jump the gap here. Little strat you don't see as often in the community, but nonetheless, it is still possible. Oh, it looks like Fungi forgot about the second tail swipe, so that'll cost him about 10 seconds at least. And Rubbertoe getting that fire flower, about to start his moon skip. Alright, Fungi getting that second hit. Gonna jump over some flames. Hopefully he doesn't take a hit here. That would be a little stressful. It looks like Rubbertoe didn't quite get the moon skip first try. We'll see how it is on the second one. And he gets it second try. Very nice. Meanwhile, Fungi finishing off Bowser. He has to jump 3 times. Give Bowser some dukes, and we jump a 4th time. And that'll be it for Fungi. Now he starts the final segment. Meanwhile, Rubbertoe about 1 Bowser fight behind at this point. So this is another part we didn't really see coming, so we actually take Bowser for this, and we use Bowser to get out of the crumbling moon cave. Rubbertoe with a solid first hit on Bowser. So I'm curious to see if we will see a 2D skip from Fungi at this point. Would be very risky, but it would save him 2 seconds. Could save him 2 seconds or lose him a minute. And he is opting to not do the 2D skip. Does not want that time loss. And Rubbertoe punching a little too early on Bowser. So Fungi finishing off the moon segment, getting ready to start his anime. While Rubbertoe starts phase 3 of Bowser. So Rubbertoe is a couple minutes behind at this point, and it looks like Fungi got 2 early hits on that pillar. while Rubbertoe finishes off Bowser and starts his final segment. Okay. And it looks like he has one more pillar, 2 more pillars left actually. Well, this one last pillar, he probably will just shoot fireballs at it. Yep. Opting in to not walk over there. Takes damage. That'll cost him about 1.5 seconds, because the game does pause a little bit when Bowser takes damage. And Rubbertoe finishes off Bowser and starts his final cutscene gameplay. And Fungi is going to finish with an official SRL time of 1:11:05. So we'll see how Rubbertoe stacks up against this. I'll see if he wants to get in here for an interview really quick. Let's see if Rubbertoe goes for the 2D skip. Alright, Rubbertoe not having any issues with that second half. And all Rubbertoe has to do here is finish off the final segment. He should have around a 1:13. Because this final room takes roughly 1 minute to complete. Welcome Fungi, GG's.
Hey, thank you so much.
At 1:11:05 official SRL time, that is very solid.
Thank you.
Very good race time indeed. So how did you feel about your overall run?
It was pretty good. I lost a lot of time in Metro. I think that was probably the most embarrassing part for me.
Yeah.
This is actually my first race ever, like on SRL or anything else. So
I was right there with you with my first race a couple days ago.
Yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking, but like the first 5 minutes, especially with Dino Skip, I was like, my hands were shaking and I was so nervous that I was going to mess something up.
You have a huge crowd to play it for.
Yeah, exactly.
And looks like Rubbertoe is finishing up with an official SRL time of 1:13:08. Very solid run by Rubbertoe as well. I'll see if he wants to come in here as well and talk a little bit about his run.
For sure.
But yeah, you definitely took the classic Dark Metro.
Yeah.
Along with that 3 cycle.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate. I tried to do the motion controls for Wiggler, and if I don't do it quickly enough, the motion controls just get so wonky, and I can't recover very easily.
For sure. Those 3 cycles are never fun to deal with. What I like to do is, it's just my preference. I don't know if it's a big thing in the community right now. You can actually, if you are close enough to the wall, and you can kind of manipulate him to go downwards, you can rapid fire, starting with his head without stopping, and just aim at one spot the entire time, and you should get a 2 cycle every time.
Interesting.
I have never had an instance yet, and I've done about 40 runs with that method, and I've gotten a 2 cycle every time.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't been playing for the last week or so. I tried to practice a little bit last night, but there's a whole bunch of new routes and new techniques and stuff, especially from Shaden's world record, that I have to go back and look at.
He does a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
True.
But neither of you went for the scooter clip, so
yeah,
not too surprised there. It's a little
too new for me.
Gotta contort your body like halfway upside down to get it.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, that was I'd say a 1:11:04 is very solid race time, and to give you good seating as well.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm excited for the next part. I still have my other 2 matches to do in my pool, but hopefully I can make it out. And I'm really excited to play against some of the players I've been keeping eyes on for a long time in terms of the world records and stuff. Who knows if I'll actually get that far, but it'll be really cool if I do.
Yeah, I'm hoping I don't have to face any of the top 5 guys early on brackets myself.
Yeah.
kind of want the easier side of the bracket.
That would be nice.
But no, yeah, I saw the. I think you had quite a few bonks this run.
I started off okay, and then I think Metro is where I bonked like 3 times, and it was a little rough from there.
First half of the game was bonkless, and then Metro started, and that's what piled up.
Yeah, it's New Bonk City. If it's gonna start anywhere, it better start there.
Exactly. But it had plenty of the chat going. That'll cost you.
That's really funny.
Those bonks add up.
I'm excited to like go back and watch the VOD with chat as well, because I totally disconnected myself. I was just like, turn off my phone, turn off everything. Like
Right.
I don't want to know how my opponent's doing. I just want to do my best.
Yeah,
so it'd be cool
isolating
to see us
yourself.
going back and forth.
Isolating yourself is very good tactic. Don't need any distractions. But yeah, you two were back and forth at one point.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I believe it was in luncheon. Rubbertoe was actually ahead of you going into luncheon.
Interesting. Wow.
I believe. Might have, or he may have pulled ahead at some point. But I know he did take the lead on you because of some errors that happened.
Probably Metro. The Wiggler plus rolling down on the dumpster.
Yeah, but definitely give the VOD. No spoilers here for me, unfortunately. It's a little too late to remember all of that. But no, it's let's see. I mean, you can't really tell with snow and seaside.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, but Rubbertoe did unfortunately take some deaths in the Potable room, which set him back quite a ways.
Gotcha. Yeah.
No, I enjoyed it. I'm sure chat enjoyed it as well. You guys had very clean up until Dark Metro.
Nice.
Hello, Rubbertoe. GG's.
Hey, GG, man.
GG.
I don't know if you were watching the Speed Gaming channel while you were running or not, but you actually kept very close pace up until luncheon.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was
I believe
behind the whole time.
I believe you pulled ahead at Dark Metro because you did not have the 3-cycle, and you did not mess up the Wiggler fight. So unfortunately, Funga had a 3-cycle, so that's where you kind of caught back up.
Okay.
And then eventually pulled ahead a little bit.
All
But
right.
then you had those deaths in the Potable room, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Those 2 deaths did cost you quite some time. So what I saw was, I don't know if you caught on, you were actually jumping a little too early up before that top ledge, so you lost your height before you actually made it up. So I don't know if you want to go back and watch the VOD. Saw you were jumping a little too early, but
For which ledge?
for the Potable room, the first ledge where you want to skip the middle platform, yeah, you jumped a little too soon there.
Yeah, it happened twice. So that was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's about 20 seconds gone easy right there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to experiment with forks a little bit, because I heard that's like comparable, maybe faster if you're good at the motion controls.
Force is definitely a few seconds faster if you use motion controls.
Yeah, I gotta test out, see if I can get consistent in that room, because I struggle with the Potable room too.
It is cycle based and it can be very sketchy.
Yeah.
But no, 1:13:08. It's very solid race time, Rubbertoe. Very nice run.
Yeah, I golded a few segments, which was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely. Felt like it was back and forth a little bit in the beginning, for sure. Definitely interesting one to watch. Go back and watch.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I think I'm gonna head out. But thank you so much for the interview, and thanks for commentating the whole thing. It was really, really fun. And GG to Rubbertoe.
Yeah, GG,
No
man.
GG.
Take care, guys.
Hope you guys had fun, and I think that'll do it. Unless you have any more comments about your run, Rubbertoe, anything you think you did really well or had some trouble with?
No, the only thing I guess I would say is that my birdless was pretty okay, I think. I just recently learned that, actually, so I was actually glad I got it in the race.
You actually did I believe you didn't ground pound or anything. You kind of just took a jump off the leg and did your cap jump up there.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
Nice. It's, I mean, hey, whatever works for you. That's what I say.
Yeah, whatever works.
Exactly. I see most people do a ground pound or a backflip, but
Yeah.
hey, if you can just jump off and get on that ledge, more power to you.
Yeah. Pretty good. I guess I'm gonna head out too then.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, thank you for commentating, and I guess I'll see you guys later or
All
something. I
right,
don't
see
know.
you. Have a good night.
Yeah, good
Or
night.
day. And that'll do it, folks. We have Funga with the win. Rubbertoe coming in a very close race. So I hope everyone here enjoyed it. And don't forget to give the runners a follow. If you enjoy the commentary, be sure to drop a follow for myself as well. The links are in the chat for you guys. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night or morning, depending on where you're at. And I don't think we have any more Super Mario Odyssey coming up. I'm not sure what the schedule is like for any other races going on tonight. But nonetheless, we will have another race coming up at a 12 p.m. EST. So in roughly 10 hours. So for anyone who's available to watch that, that's what we have going on for tomorrow. And I'm sure we have some more races after that. So I hope you have a good night in chat, guys. And I will see you next time.